Now, are you one of these people or those people who thinks that other people should show you love? You're on this earth for other people to be there for you at all times. And you don't have to do anything or give anything or be anything or bring anything, but it's their responsibility to make you happy. Do you think so? Let's listen to Dr. Shefali and see what she says about chasing love externally. And I will give my 2 cents to it when we're done listening to her.
Are you chasing that feel good emotion that you feel you can only get in a love bond? Well, let me tell you, you may not be chasing love. Most of us are chasing the desire to feel worthy, the desire to be seen, the desire to be validated. Most of us are chasing what our mothers and fathers could never give us. Most of us are chasing what we lost in childhood, what we perhaps never had in childhood. Love is not a thing on the outside that you can claim. It is an expression of the self. It is an outpouring of an authenticity. It is a verb. It is you in action. It is not something out there that you can own or possess.
What do you think? Here's what I think. I pray every day that I'm a better parent to my children so that I can give them the permission and I can teach them how everything that they're looking for is on the inside. I wish I knew this when I was growing up. I would have done things very, very differently. I didn't know this until I was in my 40s. And so many things happened thinking that, it's the other person that is meant to complete us. And so I also listen to songs like I'm down on bended knees, begging you, please. You are my one and only. You are the air that I breathe. I'm going crazy thinking about you. Without you, my life is incomplete. Reading all the Mills and Bones, tall, dark, handsome, long haired, whisk you off your feet, throw you on top of a horse and whisk you away. Little did I know that that's not what romance or love really is. Most of the times we trade. If you give me this, I'll give you that. And that's how our parents also taught us love. I do it to my children sometimes, and I do it less now than I used to do it. I'll say, oh, can you help me go and do something? And they say no. Or like my daughter, and I'll say, oh, really, you won't do it. Don't worry. Shibi, you come and ask me for something later, and I will not give it to you. That's not love. That's a trade. And that's me teaching her how to also trade it to other people. Right? If you call me, I call you. If you don't call me, I don't call you. So this in Nigeria we call it basbos. Or now they have this new phrase, no grief for anybody. So if you no do, me self I no do. That's not love. And most times, this love that we even say we are seeking is because we didn't receive it the way we wanted to receive it as children. It came at a cost. The love we got came at a cost. We had to be good children. We had to be brilliant children. We had to be the star. We had to have done something to warrant a pat on the back and a love response, seeming love response from our parents. And so we stayed in constant acting of doing. So we took that into our romantic relationships as well, because this is the picture of what romance is. Even all the love movies, you see a boy meets girl, boy falls in love with girl, boy fights with girl, they make up and they live happily ever after. So we assume that life is happily ever after when it isn't. Even a rose has thorns. So everything in life has polar opposites. You have the good, you have the bad. That's what we know. You have the God, you have the devil. You have the, friend, you have the foe. You have the tall, you have the short. You have the long, you have the short. You have the fat, you have the skinny. The polar opposites to everything. Polar opposites to everything. So we have looked at our parents. They didn't give us certain things, and we shut that thing down. That if he couldn't give it to me, then who can? And so I will never give myself to, have you said that thing before? I will never give myself to someone else for them to hurt me ever again. Or this will never happen again. I will never put myself in this situation again for anybody to lie to me that they love me, or I will build a Jericho wall around my heart. Nobody will touch it again. The question is, who's suffering for it? It's you. Because the truth is, every human being has been created for love and admiration and connection. Even animals, you see them, they touch themselves, they lie in each other's arms, they cuddle. We're higher beings. So you can imagine what we need. That's why they came up with this whole love languages: touch, gifts, affirmation, quality time. For some people, none of those things is their love language. My husband, I particularly think freedom is his love language. Some people is inclusivity. I'm one of those people. Include me. I would rather you give me is the seemingly little things that touch my heart. The very big ones, oh, you buy me a house, I'm excited, but I'm not as excited as if you include me in your day, especially if you're a busy person. So it's different things for different people. And it will change. You could have more than one. But at the end of the day, it's more about how you feel about yourself. And I think that's where the void is. And I remember in one of my videos, I talked about your relationship with God or the higher being. And it doesn't matter what you call him or call her. We're talking about the same person. We're all talking about the same person. Light, source, earth, whatever you call it, universe. We're speaking about the same person. And I call him Father, Mother, God, because he's both feminine and masculine, right? So the question is, that love, where can you actually receive it? Where is it? It's in you. It's inherently in all of us. And that's why when you do things for people and they smile at you, you also release oxytocin in your system and you're excited. And it becomes a ripple effect because other people benefit from how you feel. We're all naturally wired to be there for one another. Life and our nature and nurture just kind of changed it. So we stop trusting, we stop giving, we stop being. But our true natural self is pure love. So you see two children that don't know themselves from Adam. They'll come together and they'll play like they've been best friends forever. My daughter will go to the supermarket and she'll say, oh, the neighbor's child will like this pair of shoes. And she'll ask me, Mommy, can I buy these shoes for her or him? And I tell her yes a lot of times because I wanted to teach her how to love people and do things for people. So there's a lot that we need to learn on the inside and fill up on the inside of who we truly are. Authentically, we are pure love. That's who we are, period. But how do we show up as that if we don't know how to? You know, as they say, God is love. And I personally believe that God loves us in a way that we don't even know. We haven't even connected with it yet. Because anything that is separating, anything that says you're better than me, God doesn't exist there. Because God is pure love. And love is one. We're all one. So that love that we're looking for, or we think we need someone else to give to us, we're the only ones that can truly give it to ourselves. And you know what happens when people see how you give it to yourself? The law of attraction, remember, that which is likened unto itself is drawn. You get more love connected to you because that's who you purely are. I remember one day I said to a friend of mine, I'm going to become so much love that people will be uncomfortable with what I bring because they don't know it. And he said, that's euphoria. And I said a few other things. He said, that's euphoria. It doesn't exist. And I said to him, I said, watch me. And at some point he looked at me and he said, teach me this thing now. because it was something I really wanted. I wanted to let go of all the bias and all the anger and all the resentment I had towards people who had broken my heart or abandoned me. And nobody can break your heart. Your heart is intact, anyways. But that's, by the way, those are the terms we call it. We have another term, fall in love. Anything you fall, if you fall, is it sweet? So I don't know why we fall in love. I would rather that I grow in love. But that's by the way, right? When you look at it from the point that I just want to be, I want to love people just because I am loved. And because I'd said it so many times, I started to live it. I met somebody, and in a week from knowing him, he said to me, "You're a love being." And I added that to one of my titles, actually, because I said, "Why?" He said, "I've never met anybody who loves like you. I've never seen anybody who has nothing negative to say about anybody. You always find a way to make the person, regardless of what they're saying about the person, make the person look good." And I said, "Yes, now that's me. I love it." And this was somebody I just met. So love is who we really are. Don't allow things that have happened, the trauma that we have, or the pain that we have faced, or the experiences that we have had, wound us to the point where we don't experience what true love is. And you are true love. Go deep within it today. Experience it. Feel it for yourself first, because you can't feel it for someone else if you don't feel it for yourself. I deeply love myself. Are there ways that I can still work at it? Absolutely. And I'm still working at it. But I tell you, to a large extent, love is all I feel or think when I'm with people, or when I'm with animals, or when I'm in nature, and when especially I'm with myself. I smile once I even start to think about myself and how I love me and how I have come to love me. You too can do the same thing as well. You too. I learned it, and so can you. So love yourself today, and don't wait for someone else to give it to you. Give it to yourself today. You thank me for it tomorrow. Love and light.